Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you the technique of caramelizing onions. Caramelization is the process of browning that happens when sugar is heated. To be more specific, caramelization of onions is pyrolysis of sugar, which is a non-enzymatic browning reaction, meaning that it is not browning because food enzymes are reacting to oxygen. So an example of an enzymatic browning would be when you cut into an apple and it turns brown shortly after. When you cut into an onion, it stays the same color, and it only changes when heat is applied. So, pyrolysis is a chemical change that is caused by the presence of heat. This is a reaction that takes place to cause caramelization of the onions. Pyrolysis involves a chemical and physical change, in this case of the onion. So, the chemical structure of the onion is changed by breaking down the larger starch and sugar molecules in the onion. The physical structure is changed from yellow to white color to caramel brown color. To start, you're going to slice your onions, and in my case, I slice my onions julienne style, which means long, thin slices. Then you heat the skillet to medium heat. Once you've heated the skillet, you want to add the fat, which would be something like butter or olive oil or some sort of oil. So typically for 4 regular size onions, you typically use 1 tablespoon of butter. But because in my case I only have 1 full onion, I'm going to use 1/4 tablespoon. So you're going to want to let that skillet get hot and melt the butter. A safety consideration to think throughout caramelization of onions is to not let the fat get too hot. Another thing to consider while caramelizing onions is to be patient, because it does take time, and if you're not patient, then it's very common to burn your onions. So you can even kind of feel once the pan is getting hot and once the fat is melting, and that's when you think to add the onions. So another couple fun facts is the heat actually causes the water in the onions to evaporate, which is why they actually start sweating after a while. Onions are about actually 89% water, so they have a lot of sweating to do. Lots of water will be released because they're being heated. The release of the water causes a breakdown in the structure of the onion, which is why they start softening. However, at this point, the onions are still heating up. So at this point, they are not hot enough yet to start the pyrolysis, which actually causes them to brown. But this doesn't actually happen until 212 degrees Fahrenheit, so we have a ways to go. Once they're in the pan and the pan's heated and the fat is melted, you actually let them cook for about 5 to 10 minutes and keep stirring. After about 15 to 20 minutes, your onions should start to brown. During the caramelization time, the larger sugar molecules in the onion are broken down into smaller molecules and simple sugar molecules. This is why caramelized onions have a sweeter taste than their raw counterparts. And about 15-20 minutes later, here we have our end product. Happy caramelization of onions!